Good morning, YouTube, and today I'll be profiling my revamped Burning Abyss. This is a deck that definitely got hurt because of links, and then I reconceptualized it in my own mind, got the deck back together because I couldn't stay away from it too much, and then they announced the Link Monster, so like, okay, cool, great, this is something you do until then. This is my own personal idea. So with the main deck, we have obviously the one Graf, one Sir, and 3 Skarn. I was looking at it and I was like, oh, what did we do whenever we only had just these monsters? Obviously, you had 2 more of each of these guys, but what did we do? So it was like a heavier back row kind of variant, and so you're going to see that that's kind of like the focus of this kind of deck, plus with all the other stuff. But I tried to incorporate some of the older ideas since now we don't have the ability to spam Dante and such as nuts. Moving on, we run triple Farfa because Farfa has always been good. I've always run it at 3 because just instant spot removal and disruption is awesome. 3 Kagna because Kagna is actually a little bit more essential to this kind of a build. It's with a higher beat stick, plus it has it's a name, but I kind of enjoy it for a nice little cute little interactions that I've found. Next we run a triple of the Rubik. Rubik himself it's just obviously it's another name, plus he gets you virtual plays, and so it's kind of nice to just be able to have him as an option. Next we run triple Barbar. I did have this at 2. I like this guy at 3 a little bit better because it gives you the ability to A, see him, B, it's a higher attack, and that's going to be nice with a little cute little interaction we have later on. And then the burn thing, there's been a few times like, oh, where's my Barbar? Where's my Barbar? So I went ahead and threw in the 3rd one. Next we run 2 Libic because the ability to do like your other summon and not lose your effects is kind of nice to be able to have. And for the sake of having names, I run Alec and a Calcab because, I mean, it's their effects, you won't need them too often, but they're there too much, but they're there, and they just have the ability to be a name, so you can special summon more than, you know, 1 or 2 Burning Abyss. Moving on away from our Burning Abyss monsters, of course, we have a triple of the Fiendish Rhino Warrior because he just makes the deck a little bit more alive, especially with links. If you have a Decode Talker, you need a Rhino Warrior in order to keep all your Burning Abyss alive long enough to be able to exceed and synchro with them. Next we run a Tour Guide because Tour Guide's at 1, pretty self-explanatory at that. Moving on to our spells, we run the Terminus of the Burning Abyss. Now, most people will do this for good and evil, but I like it for the aspect of being able to send it with Kagna, and then, like the following turn, you have a Barbar who could potentially get 2,500, and that stays until the end of your opponent's turn if you banish this from graveyard. I don't use it for the fusion option too much, but it's there just in case you do need it. So I run 1. I used to run a little bit more, but it's pretty good at where it's at. Max change in second because Darklaw is still good, and it's a nice little thing. They're going to have to, if they have their Dimensional Barrier, they're going to have to decide at that point in time, do I want to call fusions or do I want to pretend or assume that they're going to be able to go into an XYZ at that point in time. So it's kind of nice to have that disruption, plus it's always good. You can swap this out for anything, but I just like Darklaw too much. 1 Dark Hole because it's at 1. Next we run triple Twin Twisters because it can die like Skill Drain and back row hate and stuff, so I like to have Twin Twisters. Is pretty great to have max out on. 1 Foolish Burial because it makes your Fiendish Rhino lie, makes your Graf and Sirs go off and pop off, even the Kagna if you want the Barbar per game. It's just nice to be able to have. Next, moving on to our traps. We're in a heavy trap back row thing because that's what they initially kind of did, so I kind of wanted to go to that. Obviously it's not identical to that day and age, but I like to have it. And so I run triple Firelake because Firelake is super good. Like spot removals up to 3, it's just always been a great card, plus you can add it back with Dante, so it's great to have. And I run 3 of the Traveler, triple the Traveler of the Burning Abyss because it's a great card, especially when you're running your Firelakes and you need to go into a Decode Talker and a bunch of other stuff. You need to have the ability to get this stuff back at the end of the turn, so it's nice to be able to have this as the option. Plus, again, it's recyclable Dante, so it's great, and you can set it with Kagna, so there's nice little interactions. You'll be able to see it pretty easily. Next, I run double Karmika and Phoenix Wing Blasts because, again, going back to that old idea, this is actually not that bad. It's pretty neat, and you can get off your... It's not as fast, but it's definitely more... you have more options, and I enjoy it that way. Next, rounding up our main deck, we run a non-aggression area. Now, this is kind of a fun tech that I've had ever since I put it into the deck. You can only activate this during your next standby phase after you set it, so it takes a little bit of setup. But discard 1 card, your opponent's turn, they can't normal summon, set, or special summon. That's nice to be able to go for the push because, again, you're probably going to be attacking a lot more with your monsters, your effect monsters, rather than specifically just going to your Xyz because you have to. So it's nice to be able to have that disruption, and nobody expects it. So it's pretty darn great, and it wins you games. Moving on to our extra deck, we run the triple Dante because Dante in himself has always been great, and this is one of the few decks where you need to max out on your key boss monster because Dante is just that great and essential to the deck. We run one Phantom Knights, Fogblade of course because it's always been pretty good. One number 47 Nightmare Shark because 47 is great, attacking with the game. Grand Pulse, I did have Ghost Galacard, and I was like, Grand Pulse is a little bit better, so I just ran him instead. We have a little bit of weirdos here. We run a DDD Stone King Darius. Now, naturally, you can wind up Zenmaines is a little bit better. This guy has a little bit more attack, and he does a little bit of burn damage, so I'm trying to test him out. It came out not too long ago. It requires 2 Fiends to bring out, so it's a nice little cute little interaction that I want to test, and because you have the option to be able to go into it. We run a Finisher the Strong Arm. Now this is another weird tech that came out later on in Burning Abyss' 10-year. He can't be destroyed with battle. At the end of the damage step, you can detach an spell, put a counter on him. Now if he battles a monster when he has 3 counters, at the end of the end of the battle, you destroy all monsters your opponent controls. Oh, excuse me, destroy all cards your opponent controls. So it's just a nice little aggression that this deck can have, in the aspect that it's not that big of basically they're not that big of monsters, they get bigger, but it's nice to be able to have that as an option. It's pretty darn cool. Fortune 2 Tempo to get recursion, it's very nice to have. We run a Beatrice because she's at 1 and she's still great. 2 Virgil because we run the 3 tuners, so might as well run them at double. Virgil's always been great. You can only have 1 on the field at a time, so that's only run 2, plus it's a kind of tighter extra deck. 1 Dante Pilgrim of the Burning Abyss because obviously for Beatrice, and I do run the Terminus, so it's pretty easy to get out. It's always been a great guy. 1 Dark Locus, again, I said I like it. And we run the 1 Decode Talker because until the Link monster comes out for Burning Abyss, it's nice to be able to have the option to go into multiple things. Obviously, you're going to need a Phoenix Crown Warrior or some other ways around it to be able to abuse the Decode Talker. There probably are some other better ones you can use right now, but I can't think of them at the moment, and this is what I have. But let me know what you think. So that's going to wrap up Burning Abyss. It's a deck that I got rid of and I got it back because I love it too much. It's definitely something you should try out here in this new September format because it's always been a great deck ever since it came out, and they haven't hit it they hit a few cards, but it still just shows up every now and then. And Link's kind of heard it, but with the new ban list and with the new Link monster coming out, it should do pretty well. I think it'll be something a definitely contender eventually. Maybe not this build, of course, because this is my own personal take on it, but it's something that I hope you take with a few of these ideas, incorporate them to your builds until that Link monster comes out. Again, the whole back row aspect that they started out with, they started off with a heavy back row, and then they went to no back row, and then it's PK Fire, and so it's just this is kind of a step back in one sense, but I hope it's a step forward in the progression of Burning Abyss. Anyway, thank you very much, and have a great day.